Bear with, just wait for anybody to turn up and let me sort out some settings. Here we go. Looks like rain. That's not cricket. Came out and the weather looked nice. And it's decidedly unnice. Hmm. Hello, thank you for joining. Welcome to, well, I would say sunny Russia. It normally is, but today it's more like being in England. Ugh, I want to do that. Yeah, just thought I'd come out for a stroll, for a wander, show you where we are. No idea where I'm going to go. No idea what I'm going to have to say. So we'll wing it. Been finally working on part 2 of my Russian alphabet video. Something I've been meaning to do for a long time now. But finally decided to start getting some notes together. And I've got another interview with me being interviewed, let's make that clear. Another interview tomorrow with a nice gentleman called Maxim, whose English is on a better level than mine, so that should be good. And he will edit that together and broadcast it on his social media at some point in the future. He's got lots of social media channels. So I'll give you more details on that once it's over. It's going to take about 2 hours tomorrow, apparently, which is fine. But in the interim, we'll go out for a wander because the weather's going to be a bit crap for a week. Cold. Moved to Russia, the wife said. Weather's lovely, the wife said. One of our jokes. Where should we go today? I'm on foot today, so let's get off the main road. Show you a bit of rural Russia, a bit of back road Russia. Some of you may have seen the video that I posted the other day, which is 20 minutes of nothing, to be honest, just driving. But the purpose of it was to show people the roads, because I do get a lot of people asking what are the Russian roads like. There obviously is something in people's minds that Russia is just dirt tracks, I guess. I don't know where that's come from. It's probably a media narrative of some description. And consequently, people do ask, what kind of vehicle will I need? Are the roads impassable in places? You know, I get all sorts of comments about roads. So, another week I thought, let's just drive around for 20 minutes, try and show you the differences. So that's what I did. So, like I say, a bit of a nothing video, really. But, shows you life in Russia. Another aspect. I think that's the purpose of my channel. Not to show you nicely edited videos, Not super exciting content all the time, but just this daily life in a rural village. So we're just outside the town of Anapa. So look that up on Google Maps. It's not Anapa, that's in Cyprus, I think. This is Anapa, A-N-A-P-A, on the coast of the Black Sea, at 60 miles from Crimea. So there's your geography lesson. Now this is very common. People build carports and then don't put roofs on them. All of that is for grapevines, because grapes grow here, as I've said many times, like weeds. Literally, it's, well, anything grows here, it's ridiculous, but grapes especially, they really do just grow everywhere. So pretty much every garden has grapes and multiples of them, and this house is no exception. Lots and lots of grapevines there, so they might have a little cottage industry winery going on in there. Looks pretty cool. So we're just outside the village, or the centre of the village rather. So that's a fairly impressive building, house, very large, 3 levels. It's probably got a basement as well in that case, but that is big, very big. A lot of the windows have still got stickers in, so I wonder if parts of it are still being finished. Don't know. There's a house like ours, but in white. Vladislav, good day. Hope you're keeping well. Paul, have you ever driven further north in Russia where the roads have to deal with extreme temperatures? No, I haven't. Uh, simple reason is there's so much to do in our region, and there's so much to see in our region that I haven't had a chance to venture further out. I haven't even explored our region yet, so not really a lot of point in rushing around the rest of Russia to see what I can find. Maybe a wife or two up there. I haven't got two, sorry. No, I haven't. So I can't comment on that, I'm afraid. I'd love to give you a pearl of wisdom there, but I can't. I have no clue. Do love this. Oh, here it comes. Soviet era style of fencing. A couple of local shops there. This, I suppose you would call it in the old days in England, a hardware shop. It's like what we used to call Robert Dyer. So I don't know if Robert Dyer still goes, still in existence. But it's a shop of everything. Anything and everything. And I've actually not been down here. Once again, find an area of the village that I haven't seen. And the older Russian houses, very colourful. I really like that. Yeah, so as I was saying, posted a video of a drive about, and now I'm going to be doing a walkabout today, because today's the last day till the weather turns. No point in driving around in bad weather, and you've got no chance of me walking around in bad weather. So hit me up with your questions, anything you want to know, as we wander around. Oh, it smells amazing. Yes, it's springtime. Spring has hit us here, although I call it summer. As I've said before, once it gets past 20 degrees, coming from England, that's summer. not for Russians. It's spring, so they're still out in coats, woolly hats. But the main difference is life. Everything's turning green. All the trees are flowering, all the fruit trees are blossoming. That's highly likely to be cherry. Perfectly normal, as you can see. Again, something else that just grows for fun out here, cherries. Yeah. You come from the UK, where the only time you eat cherries is when you buy them from the supermarket. Coming out here and being able to walk along the side of the road and just pick them is a bit bizarre, but that's exactly what you can do. Because they do grow everywhere. And our garden has recently been extended. We've been looking to get the land for about 7 months, and that's all completed now, and I've finally fenced it in. So probably saw in the last live stream, it's finally enclosed the garden, which is nice. It's really made a big difference. Now, this is, again, I'll say this every time, but this is one of the things I love about Russia. You've got brand new builds, nice houses, nicely presented, next to properties that are 50, 60, 70, 80 years old. It's really, really, what other word can I use apart from eclectic? Can't, so it's eclectic. You'll have to put up with it. But I just love it. I just love the fact that I can come out and see something different every time I go out. Every single time I go for a walk or a drive, just in our village, I find something new. And even if you walk the same road, sometimes you see something that you haven't seen before. You might have been up the road 100 times, but because everything is different, there's always something to draw your eye. And even houses that are built by the same developer still vary dramatically. Our house, for example, which is currently up for sale, is completely different to any other, because we changed everything on it and in it. The housing market's picked up a bit, or certainly it has for us. We're getting more inquiries about the house now. It's been, well, no way of putting a better point on it. It's been dead through the winter. We've had more snow than usual. I think that's probably played a big part of the lack of interest, and also the environmental disaster on the beach. That hasn't helped, but the cleanup operation continues and people are using the beach. So Robert Dyer still exists. That's good news. Well, I say it's good news. Yeah. Lewis, nice to see you. If you take Robert Dyas and multiply that by, well, in our village alone, factor of probably 10, and then variations on that theme, I'll give you an idea of, you can just go to the shops and buy anything. You haven't got to go to a big hypermarket to try and find something where nobody cares. You go to a local shop where they've got everything, and what they haven't got, they've got an alternative for. And if they haven't got that, look at that, yellow, awesome. If they haven't got an alternative, they'll get it in for you. So you get a real personal service. Oh, a bit of pink there, look at that. Where do you think the influence is from that? It looks Heidi-like. you're old like me, do you remember Heidi? Sean, hello Chris, nice to see you again. Also great to walk around the village. Well, it is for you, because you're sitting down watching me probably. I'm having to do the walking. Don't like walking. Yeah. Dubai, Sochi. No, that was about 3 weeks ago. I was in Sochi. Did a few videos from there. We're up in the mountains. We went to visit my friend Venkor. Went skiing, snowboarding, snowmobiling. Only one of those 3 activities I partake in. If you can guess which one. Property for sale. Recently built. Nice quiet part of the village. Again, this old style of fencing. It's very ornate, very grand, I suppose. And then Russian ingenuity. Didn't want the water dripping in the yard, so run a bit of pipe, prop it up, and a piece of wood. Function over form. Does it work? Yes. Good enough. Does it have to look pretty? Yeah, not so much. That's definitely secondary. Now, can you see that blue thing sticking out the ground? Excuse me. So that's a well, that's a borehole, and then a cap. And then you have a inline pump that lowers down into the water table from there. You get fresh free water. There's a gas terminal. Yes, I've certainly not been down here before. Brennan. Groundhog rig of fire. No idea what that means. Where's the creek, bruv? Yeah. Me no speako the lingo. Try English. Vladislav, how's it going on the coast after the disaster? I heard they charged your transportation company with a big multi-billion fine. Wouldn't surprise me. People obviously complain about things like that happening, but from what I've seen, and certainly I think Russia in the past, I'm just going to deviate, Russia in the past has got a reputation for nobody being held to account and the Wild West. Certainly in Western media, that's how it's portrayed. But from what I've seen, yeah, them days are long gone. Now you fuck up out here and you're held to account. So, yeah, there'll be some repercussions for that for sure. But the cleanup operation's pretty good. A lot of work, a lot of volunteers. Hi, ladies, coming through.
Hello.
Hello. That's the wife and our friend. We appear to be walking the same way. So yeah, cleanup operation's pretty good. Miss Sost, where is this? Are you in Russia? So, answer your first question. This is Russia. This is southern Russia, just outside a town called Anapa, on the coast of the Black Sea. In answer to your second question, yes. SVT. It's true that a number of tourists coming to Anapa reduced due to your disaster. I am absolutely certain of that. I don't have any stats to give you, but I am certain that will have had a dramatic effect on tourism, because, like anything, bad news spreads quickly, but nobody tends to report on the good news. It doesn't matter what country you're in, that's just normal. So I would imagine that the disaster was broadcast everywhere, because it's always news, something like that. Something bad happens. Oh yeah, let's get that out. And then a little bit about the clean-up operation, and then nothing more. So a lot of people in their mind probably think, that's it, game over. Well, that couldn't be further from the truth. These are all new. Probably the road to get tarmacked at some point. This is a school I regularly go past. Big territory. Big. And this is all going to get completely remodeled, and a brand new school being built here over the next few years. There's about 1,500 students. Don't think they're building the students, but as the saying goes, build it and they will come. So as the town or the village is expanding, obviously they're building the infrastructure out to cope with it. There's lots of road repairs and new roads being laid at the moment in all sorts of places. Paths being put down, curbs, etc., to cope with it, which is nice. But yeah, undoubtedly, tourists, 2 houses squeezed in the back there, look. Tourism has certainly been suffering. But until we get into summer, we won't really know the major effects. But obviously, people live here, so you know the businesses that rely solely on tourism, like the hotels, etc., will probably struggle. But everything else carries on as normal. Kids go to school, people go to the shops, cats run in the garden. Oh, by the way, in case you don't know, it's pretty safe here. So kids, this age, walk to and from school. Not all, some parents pick them up, I suppose, but generally they fend for themselves, make their own way to school. Because people don't muck about with kids out here. Are you in Ukraine? No, answered that already. This Russia? Yeah, answered that. Greetings from Sweden. Wow. Wow. Is it cold? For us new followers, where exactly are you? Okay, well, without giving you the GPS coordinates of where I am, I'm in a small village just outside a seaside resort town called Anapa, Anapa. Have a look on Google Maps, you'll see where we are. On the coast of the Black Sea, across the water from Turkey, and about 60 miles, 60 kilometres roughly from Crimea. And for us here, this village is about 15 minutes just outside Anapa. So, short drive, but an ideal location. You haven't got to live in the hustle and bustle of the town in tourist season. You can choose to visit it when you like and live in a peaceful Russian rural location. A few new houses being built over here. You can see the ones down the bottom there. But perfectly normal, they're building houses everywhere. Now, I've said before, Russians don't throw anything away. As you can see in this property, I've got blocks, bricks, pavers, sand. Now, maybe they are just about to start building, But I would venture that's probably been there a while. Again, perfectly normal. I think Russians are the best recyclers. Nothing is thrown away or discarded. It will get used for something. So they don't just chuck it out and then go and buy new when they need it. They keep it knowing full well that at some point they will need it. So it's not a throwaway society like we live in the West. And that then produces, as I said earlier, the hardware shops, things like that, because there's a need for it. There's a need for somebody to be able to. It's great. Love the bright colours. Sean, yes, true about the walking, Chris, although it looks more pleasant there than where I live. Just boring terrace houses for miles. Sean, that's, like I say, and I'll say it all the time, it's one of the things I love. Now, it's not, I'm not suggesting this is for everyone. There are some people without the capability of critical thought or of low IQ that will just instantly judge based on something and go, "Whoa, what a effing shithole." And I've had that, and I just think, yeah, great, okay. Make a comment like that based on 10 seconds of video footage on somebody walking around. But when you're here, it's lovely. It's really nice to see this, to see the history. Benches outside the property, so common. Look at this one. Mosaic was used heavily in the Soviet era. Bits of old broken plate and stuff, and they'll make stuff out of it. But benches outside village houses, super common. Get that in the UK? No, not at all. Why would you want to sit outside your house? You might have to speak to somebody. Yeah, funny that. Bit of new meets old there, look. New extension on a very old house. Dale Keith, have you visited a Napa before moving there? Yes. So, walnut maybe. Yes, so it's one of the things I say to people when I'm asked about moving to Russia. What do you need to know? The first thing you need to know is what climate you want to live in, because Russia has it all, and you really need to start there. You know, a lot of other people tell you to start with a job or find a house or this or that, but all of that's fixed. One thing isn't is the climate, because that changes throughout the year. If you come and visit at a certain time of year, you're going to get an impression which will change. So it's very, very, very important for you to decide, do you want to be in a very hot climate or very cold climate? Are you into winter sports? Do you like beach? So, for example, Sochi and the town next to it, which its name escapes me, where I was 3 weeks ago. You can go to the beach, and an hour later you can be skiing in the mountains. So is that the sort of thing you want to do? Or you're not interested in skiing, you're interested in beach life, in which case I'd come further up the coast to where we are, because the beach is a lot better. We've got a lovely sandy beach, although it's had a bit of a disaster, but it is coming back. So yeah, super important what climate you want to live in. But for us, yeah, we came here in October 2021 on holiday. As I've said many times, wasn't what I wanted to do really. Didn't really have a lot of interest in doing a holiday in Russia, based on the way I've been brought up, not by my parents, but just in English culture, media culture especially. Oh, Russia, snow, bears, gangsters, vodka, horse and cart. You know it's my saying. But that's our perception in the West. That's what Russia is. Because that's what the media tells us and has told us, and that's what Hollywood has told us. So that's what we know, so that's what we believe. And then you come here, and your world changes, because everything you thought you knew now is looking to be untrue. So, a couple of new houses over there. Another one being built. Very common. Big old carport there. Yeah, so when you come here, you've really got to start with your region, and that starts with the climate. And I do recommend people visit. So many people are just making the decision. That's it, we're off. We don't like where we are. Russia looks like the land of sunshine and rainbows. And that's it. We're selling everything and we're going. Some of these people do a lot of research, which is great. It's a really good place to start. Others just go because maybe they've seen a YouTube channel or a particular influencer do it and they think, I'm going to do the same thing. Or maybe they're risk takers. Or maybe they just think, oh, what's the worst that can happen? And you know what? I hope it works out for the people. I really, really do. But you're going to give yourself a much, 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 much better chance if you do a bit of research as a minimum and actually visit somewhere where you plan to live. Because it might not be what you think. Might. And what harm is it if you're going to plan to do something for the rest of your life? What harm is there in going there on holiday first? Surely it's got to be a good idea, isn't it? That's what we did. Well, that's what I did. My wife already knew the area. She had a flat here. Right, let's catch up some chat before I'm a million miles off. Dale Keith, had you visited a Napa before moving there? So yeah, hopefully I've just answered that. What do you think you can achieve? I'm not trying to achieve anything, to be honest. Miss Sost. I'll tell you what I'm trying to achieve: peace, harmony, tranquility, and a good life. You know, getting all hippified. All I want to do is live my life in peace, without oppression, without what should we say? Without bullshit, without the wrong things being shoved into your brain permanently by mainstream media, without being lied to. I just want to be somewhere where I feel free, where I don't feel restricted, where I can enjoy a good lifestyle, eat good food, live with good people with good values and good morals. Yeah, that's it pretty much. If I can achieve that, then I think I'm the richest man in the world. It's kind of how I wake up every day. Because this may be controversial, and I'm sorry if you're a Westerner, but I'm a Brit, and I freaking love this country. And although I haven't met 156 million Russians, the ones I have met have been very nice. So, yeah, I love it. Absolutely love it here. I love the fact that my wife can walk out on the street and go somewhere in safety, and so can our daughter. Love the weather, which is perfect for me, my kind of climate. Winter is not too cold, bit of snow, but it doesn't last long, just so you know it's winter, and it buggers off quick, and then you get a nice long spring stroke summer. And yeah, I love the attitude. I love the fact that you can leave stuff outside your house, like tools and building equipment and, well, anything, and it will still be there tomorrow. I love the fact that if you leave your car unlocked in the town, it isn't going to matter. I love the fact that you can put your phone on the table in the restaurant, go to the toilet and come back and the phone's still there. I love that. I love the fact that you don't have to worry about people breaking into your house, because that's just a big no-no. I love the fact that if you're unloading your shopping, you can open up the boot and just leave it open while you get the shopping out, rather than have to keep shutting it and locking it in case some tow rag comes along and opportunistically grabs your shopping. Yeah, simple stuff really, but it don't have to make a difference to your mental health. Run, chicken, get on it, else doggy will be having you. Nikolai, a lone girl. Don't know where to go with that one, mate. What's the purpose of you travel? Well, I live here, not travel here. This is where I live. Russia has it all. You actually said that, did you now? Yes, I actually said that. Yeah, there's a reason for that. It has 11 different time zones for a start, and in every climate. And yes, Russia has it all. Go to Moscow, see the most vibrant, thriving city. Go to, I don't know, St. Petersburg and see the most amazing architecture and history. Come to our region, sit in the sunshine on a beautiful sandy beach. Go to Sochi, go skiing. What am I missing? So yes, I did actually say that, and there's a reason for it. Would you say climate is like northern France? No, I'd say it's like southern France, Dalkeith. Yes, we're on the same, I think, parallel as the south of France. So the climate is that. So winter is winter, but it's not -30 like it does get to, and beyond that in other places in Russia. So here it's, it gets a bit chilly, but nothing like that at all. Bit of snow, but pretty much like you get in the UK, the dust in the snow and then it buggers off. So yeah, south of France. Think south of France, and you've got the same climate as our region. If you go further south, about 300 kilometers to Sochi, you're into a subtropical climate. So palm trees, and a bit more humid. Not everybody notices it, especially the Americans, because a lot of them come from a very humid sort of environment anyway. So for them, they don't really notice it. Lovely house. But I do, because I don't come from a humid environment. I come from a damp, wet one. South coast of England. There's one being finished, another property for sale. Quite a decent size. Oh, Miss Sost, you're going to go off on one, aren't you? You're going to have to get deleted in a minute, I'm sure. Look what Russia has done today. Really? Oh. Okay, thanks for the reply. My pleasure. Right, Miss Sost, you're gone. So, I know some people say, oh, dictatorship, and you just delete things that you don't agree with. That's the luxury of having your own channel, isn't it? if you get an idiot, an uneducated idiot, when you spent 2 or 3 years trying to explain to people and they still don't get it, and they still just repeat Western media narrative, and they think they're going to come in and have a platform to spew their rubbish, yeah, some days I laugh at them, some days I tolerate them, some days I try and educate them. But my dad used to say, if you argue with an idiot, all you have is two idiots arguing. And I'm more now in the point of just deleting, because I just think, what purpose does it serve? There are other people that are interested and want to ask proper questions rather than spew out what they read in the newspaper. And it always comes from people that usually can't spell, and certainly from people that have never been to Russia, or if they have, it was 30 years ago and they think it's the same. Chickens. Right, so that clown's gone. Good people we are for the most part. I agree. I can only speak, and that's important. People understand. I'm not going to tell you about every Russian. I'm not going to tell you about every region or anything at all. I'm just going to tell you what I see, what I experience. And I've been accused of being pro-Russian, amongst a million other things. Traitor and, all the other crap. And I'm not, I'm just pro-truth. It's that simple, really. So that's why I do what I do now, live stream. Turn the camera on, wander about a bit, answer your questions. New Santa Fe, quite nice that. I think it's a hybrid maybe. Yeah, a big pile of stones. The Russians do like to grow stuff. And it's pretty easy to grow stuff here because everything damn grows. I'm surprised these concrete posts haven't started growing. Yeah, the ground is ridiculous here. Put anything in the ground and it grows. Doesn't require a lot of looking after. My kind of gardening, really. Plant it and eat it. Chickens are in rural Russia quite common. People keep chickens, and depending on the zoning of the land that you buy, will depend on what you can keep. And if it's residential, you can keep chickens but nothing more, so you can't start having goats and cows and all manner of other things, lions and zebras, etc. But chickens you can. So a lot of people keep chickens, keep the grass short. Good way of getting rid of your household waste. And they produce the odd omelette or two once you've peeled them. Oh, Leo polished lies. Big dramatic statement. Surprised you haven't put a little flag up or something, mate. It's usually what people like you do. Wave a flag, change the flag in your social media. It means I'm right. Not right. Benny and Arthur, I've no idea what you're saying, mate, but good luck. Right, Leo gone. Can't be bothered to try and educate these fools, because let's face it, if you haven't got it after 3 years, if you haven't worked out that you've just been lied to, after everything that's happened, after every omission, after every backtrack, after every false narrative, after every statement over 3 years that's come out in the media, what story in the media that's been a big dramatic headline has proven to be true? Just go back over 3 years and have a look. But if you haven't got it after 3 years, if you haven't worked out that it's all a big lie and Russia isn't what you're told it is, you're never going to. So I ain't going to try and educate you. If you can't be bothered to go and educate yourself, you ain't getting any help from me. But there we go. Why did the chicken cross the road? To get to the other side is the obvious answer. Does Russia have a tropical climate? Well, subtropical, which is Sochi. I suppose if you go a bit further, borderline tropical. Nikolai, you were following an alone small girl like 10 minutes. Nothing special. No, completely normal. That's why I didn't even notice what you were pointing out, Nikolai. Yeah, it's a point to make again. Kids are safe here. They can walk to school in safety. They can walk home from school in safety. So it's so normal. When I first came here, there was a lot of stuff that I just take for granted now that I don't really notice. But when I first came here, it blew my mind. Like kids hitchhiking. That really blew my mind. Because, I mean, that just would not. I mean, 30 years ago, 40 years ago, maybe in Britain. But now, no chance. Kid hitchhiking, and I mean, 7, 8-year-olds thumbing for a lift. Just literally melted my brain, that did. But now, don't even bat an eyelid at it, because I know what Russia is. I know what the people are. I know who the people are. And of course, there's always a rotten egg in every country, no matter what. But vast majority of Russians are all about family, morals, honesty, sincerity. It's probably a very good word that you should link with Russia and Russians. They are sincere. You might not necessarily like what they say to you at times, which will be direct. If you're being an idiot, they'll just tell you you're being an idiot. They won't just, shut their mouth and look the other way. They'll say you're being an idiot, mate. So they are very direct, but they're very sincere about it. They won't necessarily hold that against you, and it won't cause a fight. Speaking of which, going back to safety, I haven't seen any violence since I've been here. Nothing. I haven't seen any crime. I haven't seen so much as road rage since I've been here. Not one instance. No Roman-inspired buildings. Probably not. Greek. Yeah, if I go down to the seafront, there's a Greek archaeological dig. Stalking. Leopolds, you don't have to listen to the stories. Brennan, 1,100 square foot. Okay. Our lot have done far worse than... Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Britain keeps trying to go to war with Russia. Why? What's Russia done to Britain? And this is the point I want to make about being called a traitor. I didn't know my country was at war with Russia, so I failed to see how I'm a traitor. I don't live in Ukraine. I'm not a Ukrainian citizen. So, yeah, anyhow, let's not go down the political path. You know what happens. All of a sudden, connection gets lost. Omar, hi mate, utterly random question, that's fine. But are there a lot of single yummy mummies in that town? Is that a troll question or is it a genuine question, Omar? I honestly don't have a lot of time for that, to be honest. Yeah. Don't think I'll grace it with an answer other than what I've already said, to be honest. But do your research, Omar. Lots of building everywhere. Well, Japan is cool. Yeah. Blah blah. Lewis, have you been to an Orthodox church service in Russia yet? No, Lewis, I haven't, actually. I'm not a religious person, per se. For me, the priority in life is that you should be a good person, regardless of religion, race, creed, or colour. Your first point in life should be, excuse me, to live a good life. Be kind to others. And I think everything stems from that. And I think, for me, my view of religion is, does it make you a better person going to a building on a Sunday and going through a structured event as opposed to somebody that doesn't? Now, I know that might be a bit pedantic, and I certainly don't want to offend anybody that is a believer in religion of any size, shape, or colour. But it's just not something that I'm for or against. I have no real opinion other than the one I just said. Be kind to people. Be nice to people. Treat people how you want to be treated. As you can see, they're starting on roads all around the village. There's various roads under repair and construction. God, I hope you lot don't stay around too long. I'll have 1,000,001 miles to walk. Made of stone. Well said, pal. Thank you. Yeah, like I say, I'm not trying to, well, certainly not trying to disprove the existence of God or anything else. I just believe in living a good life. I certainly notice karma. That's something that I do believe in. Things tend to come round for bad people. But there's a saying, you reap what you sow. I think if you live a good life and you're kind to people, then generally you attract the same. Challenge in life is to wheedle out the rotters, the ones that can't spell, sit in their mummy's basement and bash away at the keyboard. Them ones. They're the ones we don't take a lot of notice of. There's no saving them, because they're either so far gone they can't be changed. And I've met some very clever people that are so bent out of shape that it really staggers me. And by that I mean some very, very clever academic people, that their view of Russia is solely based on what they read in the Telegraph that morning, or Bloomberg. And they are absolutely, wholeheartedly fixated with it, and they have bought into that narrative completely. And literally, you try and show them things called facts, and they absolutely just will not even receptive to it. And I think a lot of it is fear. I think a lot of people are these sort of people that will hold on to their view of Russia. They're scared, just like some of our politicians. They're scared to actually look at the truth, the reality, and accept it, because it will just shatter what they've believed. And they're scared of that. You should never be scared of the truth, should you? It might be painful, but it is what it is. What you should be scared of is bullshit and lies, because that's manipulation. Who are my favourite Russia-based YouTubers to watch? Thanks, Paul. It's a sensible question. I like sensible questions of any description. What's that fence made out of? What tree is that? How much is petrol? Blah, blah. Sensible questions. Love all of that. So the honest answer is I don't get a lot of time to watch YouTubers for entertainment, because I spend a lot of my time in various independent news media channels and global finance, believe it or not. I know, who'd have thunk it. So that's where I spend most of my time. So leisurely watching YouTube just to be entertained, to watch 20 minutes of nothing, I don't get the time to do that. Or rather, no, I do get the time because I'm retired. That's not true. I have all the time in the world. I just choose to spend my time in a different way, so that ultimately I can make videos like this. You guys can ask me a question and I can probably answer it. But I like Sam's Russian Adventures. I think there's no secret in the fact that I like Sam very much. I class him as a very good friend because he's a genuine soul, and he's very misunderstood at times by people, and he's been attacked by people in the past completely incorrectly. People have got the wrong end of the stick or misled or whatever, and he's a very, very, very genuine soul. And the trouble is, with a very, very genuine person, it's the old, it's too good to be true, so therefore it's a lie. Yeah. And I think that's a good description of Sam. His morals and his values are sound. But a lot of people just assume, based on their own insecurities and own issues, I guess, that it can't be true and it must be all fake and it must be all BS. It's not. He's a genuine guy. And I've got a lot of time for Sam. He's a very, very genuine guy. And I've had some very, very deep conversations with Sam. And he's a very genuine guy. A lot aren't. And that's one thing that coming into the YouTube community, you do learn. And that's a shock. I came into the YouTube community never expecting to be a YouTuber. God, me? If any of you knew me, properly knew me, and had said to me 18 months ago, oh, you're going to be a YouTuber, or heard that, you'd laugh. No chance. Last person that's going to do YouTube. But I've done it because just to show people a different side of Russia to the one that they're told. And the biggest difference that I'm showing people is fact. It's a word that seems to have vanished from the West. Truth and fact. I'm not sure they can spell it anymore in the media. So that's what I want to show. Turn the camera on, no editing, wander about a bit, answer some questions. No propaganda. And I thought that that's what I was getting into. I thought that a lot of Western YouTubers had the same goal, ultimately to show Russia, good, bad, and indifferent. If you watch my videos, you'll see I show houses that are 100 years old falling apart. It's not all sunshine and rainbows, but it's real. And that's, like I say, I thought that's what these other Western YouTubers were going to be like. Only to find that most of them are just in it for the money. It's all about the clicks, baby. Google AdSense revenue. Churn out a video and then another video and another video and just try and get as many subscribers and as many clicks as possible to get the money rolling in. Whatever title is going to achieve that. So, yeah, I'm a bit skeptical when it comes to YouTubers, unfortunately, because so many of them have turned out to just be fake. They've just turned out to be doing YouTube solely to earn money. And I'm not interested in that. A, personally, I'm not interested in doing YouTube to earn money. But B, I find that people that are focused on the money aren't focused on producing raw, genuine content. They're going to make it glossy and edited, and they're either going to make it super, super nice or super, super bad, depending on the news of the day. I don't like that. And I find those people are quite distasteful. I don't like to be around them. So I don't have people like that in my life. My circle of friends is small for a reason. Look at that. That's brilliant. It's a trapdoor for the cat. Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Lewis, it's very different and quite spiritual. Do you know what? Just living a genuine life, surrounding yourself with just genuine people, transforms your mental health. Your stress, your anxiety, all of that goes away. Because most of it comes from the people that you surround yourself with. Hey, pussycat. They like to sit in the middle of the road for some reason. It's because it's warm. Hey, puss. Meow. You've got cute ears. I like your ears. Right. Hey, you've got lovely ears. Anyhow, oh, a new one. And another new one. Good thing about houses out here is they've all got a good bit of land with them. Not all. Some are very old and probably got small plots, but all modern stuff now comes on at least 600 square meters. Because that's the law. So there's none of this developers buying up a big piece of land, firing in 500 townhouses and earning a killing. No, 600 per square meters per dwelling, which is good. It means people have outdoor space, they have gardens for their doggies, and they have place to grow food. Irvin, nice to see you. You're up early again by the looks of it. Hope your knees are all right, mate. Good morning, Chris. Just starting the day and saw the notification for live. Maybe getting better. Glad to be here. Good. Well, wish you all the luck in the world, sir. My fingers are crossed for you. We both know why. Baratiki. Absolutely plastic. Fear. False evidence appearing real. That's a beautiful... What's that, an acronym? Or analogy? Don't know. Anyhow, letters of fear. Love that. For everything a reason. They are scared to find out that Russia is actually better than their own. Yeah, I don't think they're just scared. They're scared of the truth. They're scared to have their reality shattered, because it's very easy, even if it's completely shit, it's very easy to just live in a reality that you're familiar with. What's the saying? Nobody likes change. Well, yeah, we're taught that, aren't we? That's what they want you to believe. Nobody likes change. It's best to keep everything completely stationary, stagnant. It's not, because then you become a sheep. Then you become a brain-dead sheep, where you only believe what you're told. And it's all about programming you to get to love things like 15-minute cities and all of this crap. It's all about control, isn't it? But get out, learn a bit, see the world. I'm very fortunate. My dad instilled that into me when I was very young. And I've been very fortunate to do it. And the more of the world you see, the more you understand that a lot of what we're told is bullshit. Because there's nothing like going out and experiencing it with your own being, your own eyes, and then going, this wasn't what I was told. Bearing in mind I'm an Englishman now, walking around the back streets of a Russian village. Nobody's come out and shot me yet. Funny that, isn't it? Yet Western media would have you believe that I'm in grave danger at any moment. Lewis, I follow Sam too. Yeah, he's a genuine guy. Genuine guy. And that's, do you know what? That's the thing. That's his problem. Because that is so unusual. What a terrible world we live in, where somebody like Sam is so unusual that he looks fake. That shows you how twisted our world is now. Where somebody genuine that just tells the truth and tries to be nice to people and help people looks fake. That's the world that we've created. That's the world that our media has created. How terrible. Sam is pretty naive and often gives wrong advice about Russia. Be careful. I disagree with that, Nikolai. If you speak to Sam on a personal level, he's a long way from naive. He makes his videos for entertainment, you have to remember. It's not always a true reflection of the man himself. But he's very learned about Russia. And you have to remember, as you have just demonstrated, Nikolai, that everybody's perception is based on their own perception. What they have absorbed, what they believe. And you believe that Sam's views are different, are incorrect, but that's really, they're just different from yours. Does that make you correct? Might make you correct in your town. Don't know, but you get my point, I hope. Yeah. Does anybody get everything right 100% of the time? No, of course they don't. Anybody that says they do is a liar. We all make mistakes. But I tell you now, if Sam makes a mistake, he'll correct it. He'll own up to it. He'll take ownership of that. Can that be said about all YouTubers? No, definitely not. Let's brush that under the carpet. Move on. Pretend it never happened. What happened to Captain Ron's YouTube channel? Cannot find it. I don't know, is the honest answer. I tuned into it now and again when he was walking around Krasnodar. An interesting guy, interesting character. I'll be honest, what turned me off him a bit was the way he spoke about a girl that he was looking to date. For me, didn't sit well. Can't even remember it specifically what it said, but it was his attitude towards her in a live stream that I found offensive. And, I'm allowed to be offended. And rather than go on his channel and do what a lot of people do and smash away at the keyboard, I just chose to not watch anymore because I just thought, well, we don't share the same values. I just felt that his values weren't the same as mine. We didn't align. Let's do that. Let's sound like a bloody woke, which is a terrible thing. That is a disease, isn't it? Wokeism. But yeah, I just felt that we wouldn't have a lot in common. Let's go down here. Let's go down here. Igor in Russia is interesting. I've heard that. I genuinely haven't seen any of his stuff. But a few people have recommended his channel to me. And it's like Irish Partisan. A few people have said to me about his channel. And again, I should watch, but I just don't have the time. No, I said it again. That's a lie. I do have the time. I just fill it with other things. And those other things are more important to me than entertaining myself. I'd much rather educate myself than just stare at a screen for hours and then for the sake of it. I like to absorb information. Sean, hi Bartocki. Ron has a new channel called Ronald Gordier Travels in Russia. There you go. Check it out. Like I say, very interesting guy. Former pilot, I believe. US citizen, now in Russia. Don't know if he's applied for his TRP yet or he's in the process of. Temporary residency. But like I say, I don't think we would ever be friends in real life. You know, I'm sure we could probably pass some stories over a pint, but I just don't think that our moral compass is pointing in exactly the same direction. I'm not suggesting he's a bad person at all. I'm just suggesting that he's not for me. And, you know, pretty sure I wouldn't be for him. It is what it is. That's called life. Nothing wrong with that. It's perfectly acceptable. And Captain Ron, if you ever see this, nothing against you. I just think we're different people. There we go. Happy to be proven wrong. If I ever come to Krasnodar and you want to meet, no problem. No problem at all. But I did suggest a few times on your live streams that we could meet, and you weren't keen on that. You just ignored the comments, so I guess that's fine. Hey, let's not dwell on it. Captain Ron is his own person. He does his own thing, I'm sure. Good luck. So this road is getting a load of work at the moment, making it wider and putting curbstones in on a path further down. If we go that way, you'll see. Nikolai, Igor is just a scammer. He really wants to make money on YouTube at any cost. I don't recommend him. Phew, hey, I think everybody should make a disclaimer when they make a statement. If they ask a question, that's fine. But if you make a statement about somebody else, you should always finish that sentence with, in my opinion. Because just making sweeping statements about people, now you might have good reason for that. Maybe he's ripped you off. Maybe he's scammed you out of money. But otherwise, just making sweeping statements about people is half the problem with the world. And this is why I always point out in my videos and my lives that my views are solely that. They're based on my experience. I'm not talking for all of Russia, not talking for all of Russians, not trying to. I'm just saying this is my experience. And I get shot down because I tend to be, I suppose, positive. But what am I supposed to do if that's my experience? If my experience of coming to Russia, living in Russia, meeting Russians, interacting with them is positive, what am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to be like a lot of YouTubers and twist it and manipulate it and make it to be false? There's one particular YouTuber that goes to an area and he films in that area. He doesn't tell anybody he's going. And if he contacts you, he insists that you don't tell anybody he's coming because he's fearful. Well, why? Why would you be fearful? Because you lie, because you manipulate, because you twist the truth to get YouTube clicks, or because you don't know Russia at all and you genuinely believe that it's a terrible place and you're going to die. What's the reason? But there we go. Like I say, I know that to be true. But yeah, if you're going to make a statement, really just follow it up, in my opinion, and then that's fine, isn't it? You've quantified that statement. That's just my opinion. Or bring it up with some fact. The reason I say he's a scammer is because he said send me £10 and he would send me some apples, and he never sent the apples. and he deleted my messages. You know, fair enough. But if it's just your view based on what you see on YouTube, come on, open your mind a bit. Come on, Nikolai, expect better from you. Baratoki, thank you, Sean. Nikolai, they don't scare. They just need a big scarecrow to keep power. Russia is good for this. Yeah, Russia is the whipping boy. Always used to be. Not so much anymore. Maratiki, plastic. I grew up in Southern California and I used to believe all the bullshit until I opened my eyes. Mate, that's the revelation that I had in October 2021. I think if you don't come to Russia with open eyes, if you come here believing what you think you know about Russia, it's going to run you over like a steam train, in a good way. It's going to be a massive shock. And, you know, it's going to blow your mind. But if you do a bit of research and whatever, and you come here, it'll reinforce what you research. Delivery? Not Deliveroo, that's for sure. Let's go down here. Where's that go? I'm entirely sure. Yeah, let's go down here. Yeah, it is. And that's why I do YouTube, as I've said before. If you're not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to it. Please share it. YouTube won't. You'll only have found this channel because you've stumbled across it. It's not picked up by the algorithm. And you can fill in the blanks for that as to why that is. Remember, people don't like the truth. It scares them. Chrisman, traveling with Russell. No, I'm the plastic Russian. I did see you put a question mark on the end of it. Yeah, I won't comment on other YouTubers specifically. Nikolai, in the last video, Sam showed chocolate seller on the side of the road. Oh, here we go. It's a well-known scam in Russia, even can harm your health. Why did he advert it to Western unless he is naive? Again, please, Nikolai, follow that with, in your opinion. You might be correct, a well-known scam. But what if the one that Sam was at wasn't? What if he knows many people that go to that place? Where's the scam? That's, I suppose, what I would ask first. You're saying is a scam. It's a well-known scam. If you hand over money for goods or services and you receive those goods or services and they are what you've expected, I don't think you've been scammed, have you? The whole definition of a scam is you don't get what you pay for. But if you do, where's the scam? And I'm sure, you know, I understand this background to all of this, you know, the chocolate might be stolen and blah, 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 blah. No need to go down that road and get into it. It's not my place to do so. But, you know, it wasn't his last video. That was a long time ago. And as many negative comments about it, there were positive. So, yeah. Like I say, Nikolai, that's your opinion about that. That doesn't make Sam a bad person. Right. Even can harm your health. Why did he have it as Western? Well, advertise, as you say, advertising it to Westerners. Let's just finish that off. Advertising it to Westerners. Well, if you're advertising a product, it's with the intention of gaining some kind of payment or reward. If Sam is in Russia advertising a roadside seller to Westerners, I'm struggling to see A, the advert, and B, where there's any potential gain. Can't see anybody jumping on a plane in America and flying over to wherever Sam is to try and locate a chocolate salesman on the side of the road. You get my point? So let's just keep it real. Keep it real, brother. Paul, do your values align with Vencore? I was shocked by his outburst on Sam's live stream. Oh dear. So the easy answer and the cop out would be no, absolutely not, because that's what you should believe. I'll tell you what I believe. I believe Ven has come from a different culture and a different environment to me. So I'm not going to judge the guy because I've met him. I've spoken to him on many occasions, and we went and stayed with him for about 6 days. And I can tell you categorically that Ven is a lovely guy, a very, very, very nice guy. His comments in the particular stream that you're talking about, and I'm not here to defend him or anything at all, but his comments are based on his experience, and the term that he used. Oh, noisy here. Oh, petrol, look. Got plenty of that here. His comments and the terms that he used were A, based on his own personal experience and life, and B, they're not the same as us in the UK. We just treat the N-word as something that only black people can say to each other for some reason. And if a white person says it, it's absolutely derogatory. Well, that's not the case in a lot of places in America. In a lot of places, it's descriptive. And it's not, how can I put it? I don't think I can put it any other way. It's just that simple. It's descriptive based on his environment, where he came from, and the way that he was treated by a certain class. Case in point, if you're sat at a set of traffic lights and 3 guys jump into your car, tell you to take them up the road because they just want to lift, and then they steal your phone and your money, and that's a common occurrence, you're going to feel a particular kind of way, aren't you? So life is all about your experience, and I think your opinions and your attitude are based on that. So do my values align with Ven in the fact that he's a good person? Absolutely. In the fact that he's a genuine person? Absolutely. In the fact that he will help anybody? Absolutely. But when it comes to that particular topic, it's beyond face value. Very easy to condemn on face value based on your own perceptions, but his reality is different than ours. And had I walked in his shoes, maybe I'd have a different opinion. So there we go. Look at the size of this carport. It's a monster. I call it a carport, but really it's a covering, isn't it? Just gives a large outdoor space, shielded from the sun. But it's a monster. Look at that thing. Wow. We've got the obligatory grapes. It'd be lovely in the summer when all of these grapevines are all in bloom, chucking out grapes everywhere. In the summer, you can just wander along and eat plums, cherries, sometimes peaches if you're lucky, and grapes just on the side of the road. Wonderful. Yeah, sorry, Paul. I hope that answered your question. I don't know. Lewis, travelling with Russell is good, especially on property in Moscow. Nikolai, Russell is a good guy and makes great content. I recommend. Sean, yes, Chris, he is very businesslike when it comes to talking about girls, but I think it's bluster. He is quite soft in private, I think. In his heart, I mean. If you're talking about Sam, definitely. Baratiki, hi, I like Sam. He's genuine. After more than 20 years in Russia, he still has some Westerners' prejudices, though. I don't know if they're prejudices. I think they're just, if you're born in a country and you've lived there most of your life and you grew up in that environment, it's very easy to just, I miss Marmite. Okay, it's not a thing in Russia, and I miss it, and I talk about it. That's because I grew up with it. And I think if you grow up with your childhood friends, That's what makes your bonds with people. And if you come to a country after childhood, that's very difficult. You bond with people at school and you learn social interaction at school. And if you haven't had that in a different country with a different language, it's very difficult. But how many people would do what Sam did? Go to Russia, literally upload his life and just go, right, I'm going to Russia. Didn't speak the language and move to Russia on his own. How many people would have the neck to do that? How many people would have the guts to do that? Yeah. I mean, people say to me, wow, can't believe, friends that I know and other people, wow, I can't believe you just, but the people that know me know I'm a man of my conviction. If I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. But, other people just like, oh my God, you're going to move to Russia. You've moved to Russia. Oh my God. It's like and to them, these people that operate within 15 miles of their house since birth, to them, yeah, I get it. It must seem like the most outrageous thing to do in the world. But, as I say, if you're capable of critical thought and you don't surround yourself with toxic people and you're comfortable in your own skin and you are a person of conviction, then really, apart from an initial thought about where to live, how to live, what's this and what's that, beyond that, what's the difference? It's only geography. That's what separates Russians from us at the end of the day. Mileage. That's the initial point anyway. Beyond that, society and media, Russians aren't poisoned by it. Unfortunately, when you live on an island, you are Neriman Ozahin. Hi. Nikolai, Igor puts the same... Igor? Come on, you cabbage. Igor puts the same videos out again and again on his channel, just for views. Even old ones, 1 and 2 years old, is brand new. It's a scam. It's not a scam. It's just, that's how he runs his YouTube channel. Who's he scamming? He's not scamming anybody. You haven't got to pay £10 to watch a video, have you? There's no scam. Let's be clear. That's just how he operates his channel. And if it wasn't successful, his channel would have collapsed and closed down. My channel doesn't do well. And the main reason is because every video is different. That's the biggest problem. So channels like Igor are probably successful because they stick to a same formula that the algorithm likes. It's like Russell, supermarket videos. I couldn't imagine anything worse than going out and videoing another supermarket. Now, maybe Russell enjoys that. But maybe he's doing it because that's the formula that he's found works for his channel. And whether you agree with it or not is irrelevant. It's not for me. It's different to me. I want to show you something different every time. I want to show you a video turned on and turned off without editing, without thumbnail. So this is the other school at the moment in mid-refurb. So this is a school that our daughter was going to, and now she's bused to another village. And this one is being completely refurbished. All new tiling, fascias, as you can see, all brand new, all new windows, roof, the whole thing is being refurbished. And then when this one reopens, they'll move all the kids out of the other school that you saw earlier into this one, and then they'll demolish the other one and build a new one. And this is in a little town, a little small village in Russia. You've got to remember, the Russian economy is collapsed and there's no money. Well, if that was the case, they wouldn't be building schools, would they? Oh, lovely looking property, look at that. Love the use of the stone to accent. Right next to that, Nice contemporary style. Again, this is what I love about Russia. Look at the variation. Wonderful. All being under all of the new fascia, it's all new insulation, just being completely reworked. The chimneys will get reworked. Yeah, the whole thing, inside and out. No money in Russia though. Where was I? Nikolai. Never mind. Sorry, I'm from Australia. Well, don't be sorry about that. I know you upside downers. You're a good bunch, really. Still amazes me how you managed to hang on with your feet. Clever trick, that. Please let me know if the audio disappears, because the radio mic will have run out of juice. And I'll switch. Baratiki, when I visit Russia soon, the people I want to visit are Sam, Plastic, Captain Ron, and a handful of lady vloggers. I'm going to set aside about 60 days because I want to see a lot of Russia. Okay. You do know that if you come to Russia on a visa, you register in a region, and if you move outside of that region, for anything, I think it's 7 days, anything beyond 7 days, you've got to register into the next region you're in. So you can travel outside your region to visit, but ultimately the authorities need to know where you are, because you're a foreign national, you don't have citizenship, you're not applying for residency. So it's different to the West, where we just go, yeah, come on in, and you get boatloads of, in inverted commas and air quotes, families, all young men of fighting age, just coming in and wandering about a bit. Can't do that in Russia. You have to register where you are. So here we are, back in the town. Chucking out time for the kids. Irvin, yes, thank you. We're on the mend. I usually get your notification after live is over. Looks like an improvement to get live notice from YouTube. It's just past 7 a.m. Cool. That shows how far behind the chat I am, so I better sit down and catch up, haven't I? Because I asked you that question about 20 minutes ago. Guys, I will answer. I will read every comment. I always do. I'm sorry it might not be straight away, because I'm trying to give a concise answer to any question that I'm given, and that takes a bit of time. I forgot to add Russell. Okay, Sailor, hi. How are you? Baratiki, Plastic, channels like yours, Sam's, and others really open my eyes even wider. So thank you. Don't thank me. All I'm doing is, what am I doing? I'm occupying some of my time, and I'm hopefully opening some people's eyes. Well, I know I am, because I have had a lot of messages from people saying, oh my God. And the most common one is this really Russia? I can't believe this is Russia. Because, you know, you're all expecting to see snow, aren't you? And I'll get that in the summer, obviously, when we're in the swimming pool. So don't thank me. I'm just providing a free service. Phil Holland, China. Okay. Daniel, hi Chris, thank you for sharing Anapa. Did you know Anapa was once a colony of Genoa, 13th century? It was called Mappa. I read about it recently, found it fascinating. No, but I know Anapa has got a lot of history with the Greeks, I think. But no, I'm no good on any kind of history, let alone Russian history. Where's everyone? It looks deserted. Well, it probably did when you wrote that message, based on the fact that I was wandering around the back streets, but I'm in the centre of the village now. Does it look deserted? I remember it's a village with a population of about 25,000. Does it look deserted? I'm going with no, Sailor. Nikolai, there are plenty of videos on Russian internet debunked, such as chocolate sellers on the side of the road. This chocolate has nothing with brands labelled. I don't just say. Yeah, hey Nikolai, as I said, just always cover it off with, in my opinion, and then you always be okay. I want Westerners not to get scammed. Mate, as I said, who in the West is going to watch Sam's channel and think they've got to rush to Russia and buy chocolate from a guy on the side of the road? Let's be real. No Westerner is going to get scammed after watching Sam's video. Not one. Not one. So let's be realistic, mate. Stephen, are you in Siberia because of the raised pipes? No, I'm not. Very common down here in the south. Very common in rural Russia. Gas pipes above ground. I've covered that before. It makes sense when you think about it. You know, yes, your first reaction might be that it's unsightly, but maintenance, very cheap. You ain't got to dig up a road and close the road, have you? If you get a leak, easy to repair. If you want to add to it, dead easy. You just turn the valves off at the end of each bit of pipe, purge the bit of pipe out, and then weld on a new bit of pipe to a new house, turn it back on again. So from a maintenance and upgrade perspective, it's freaking brilliant. The only downside is that you might think that it's unsightly. But then my gas bill in the UK when I was last there was about £220 for a month. Here, my last gas bill was 90 pence for a month. So I'll take the 90 pence bill and have yellow pipes above the ground. What do you reckon? Lewis, sorry, I wasn't being pedantic, Stephen. It's just, just my view on it. I've been asked about it so many times as well. Lewis, will you buy a motorbike now that you are permanently based in Russia? If so, what will you get? It's a topic of debate. I feel like I will. I'm a bike guy. I've had bikes since I was 7. There have been breaks in between, but you know, I've always been around bikes in one way, shape, or form. I quite fancy having a bike because there are some amazing bike roads over here. Absolutely amazing. There is a big biking culture here in the south. My sports bike days are over because my brain will remember that I used to be able to ride and try and convince my body that I still can, and that will only end badly. So if I do get a bike, I really would love to get another KTM 950 Supermoto, but I know I'll just end up being a dick on it, and I don't need to. Why do I need to bring that back into my life? I don't. Been there, done that. Had a couple of very big crashes that should have killed me and didn't. So yeah, no, I think I've built a few bikes, a few choppers, and I enjoy a cruiser. I enjoy a Harley more than anything now, really, just because plodding along at 50, 60 mile an hour on a nice road, enjoying the scenery and the countryside without risking life and limb appeals to me more. So yeah, I'm looking at Harleys, maybe a Road King. Last Harley I had was a nice 2019 Fat Boy 114. It was lovely, great bike. But I've got the urge to do a bit more. So it would either be another Harley, like a Road King with some bags, or something like Honda CRF 1100. The Transalp, I think. No, it's not Transalp, is it? Africa Twin. That's it. Yeah, an Africa Twin. Just so I can go and do some miles, and I think it would be better suited to the back roads. So something like that. They're the two things that I'm looking at. Yeah, I understood what you meant, Steve. Raised. Yeah, couldn't be further from Siberia. Yeah, opposite side of the country. Baratiki, Sailor, it is Monday. People are at work. Russia's very low unemployment. Yeah, next to zero unemployment. So, yeah. Misty, they have to. What a stupid statement. I'm sorry, Misty. What a dumb statement. What society in the world has where nobody has to work because they're just naturally wealthy. The money just grows out of the ground. What a dumb statement. I'm sorry, woman, but that's really, really dumb. They have to work because they make so little. My God. Go and give your head a wobble. So little affords them a very good standard of living. Not saddled with yeah. Yes, Misty. They make so little, yeah, but then they don't pay council tax. The gas bill, like I said, ours was 90 pence. Electricity bill is virtually, you know, ridiculously cheap as well. Petrol is a third of the price of the UK. Food is abundant everywhere. You know, it's all relative, isn't it, sweetie? Baratiki, where do you live, Misty? Oh, I won't worry. Not in our world. Nikolai, in my opinion, like what you did there, your channel is far better than Eagles. Your stream's got the same viewer count, but subscribers 5 times less. Yeah, but as I said, the reason I don't have a lot of subscribers is because I don't produce the same content all the time. So there's nothing really for the algorithm to pick up on. It's just different. So it's very irregular. There's nothing samey about it. So yeah. Misty, USA, where do you live? Misty, educate yourself, sweetie. All the snow is in and around Moscow for the last 2 days. Good, I'm 2,000 kilometres away from Moscow. Misty, bet your income was double in the UK. Well, I don't have an income in Russia, so it was not double, it was far more. So I don't have an income here, I don't work. But being pedantic, like for like job, yes, my income would be at least double in the UK. However, when you take the gas bill, for example, and say 90 pence as opposed to £230, you work the ratio on that. You work the ratio on no council tax. You work the ratio on land tax being next to zero. You see what I'm saying? It's all relative. It's all relative. Could a Russian on a Russian salary go and live in the USA? No. Would they want to? Probably not. But could a Russian go and work in the USA on their salary? Yeah, and they'd manage it a lot better because they don't have a mentality of just buying the latest shiny thing. So the West could learn a lot from Russians, and I wish they would absolutely open their eyes and see that. Do you earn a lot and are you debt free? Do you own your own home? Yeah, that's a good point. Most Russians own their own home, and a lot of Russians have two homes, have a summer house. Maximum rate is 15%. Yeah, so that's maximum rate. 15% tax. Irving, get a KTM and you can do live streams from a hospital bed. I'm a big KTM guy, mate. Been around them a lot, especially with racing, supermoto, and I've had quite a few KTMs. And yeah, they can be made of cheese at times. But in supermoto racing, they've always really been the weapon of choice. Baratiki, Misty, if your income is double, yet you need to spend 4 times as much for the same amenities, then yeah, I wouldn't say that, but yeah. I probably earn a lot for your standards. I own 3 homes. Misty, I'm so pleased for you. Great, well done. You're doing so well in life. You own 3 homes. Awesome. I suppose it depends where they are, what they look like. How do you know how many homes I own? Here's a question. And if all of your homes cost £5,000 each, not really doing that well, are you? So, like I say, it's all relative. It's all down to people's individual uh, story, individual life. Do you work, Misty? That's a question. If the answer is yes, then do you think you're better off than me? Because I don't work. I'm a man of leisure. Just bought a brand new car. Currently selling our house because we want to move. So I don't know who's more rich. But anyhow, let's not go down that path. The point I'm trying to make is everybody's different. We've all got a different story, and just because you've got three houses doesn't necessarily mean anything. But good luck to you. Got three houses, well done. Fabulous. Nikolai, the average deposit size among Russians at the end of the first quarter 2025 was 413,000 rubles, 5 grand ish. Yeah. Um, Baratiki, Mister, you own three homes. How much do you pay in property tax? Probably obliged. Yeah, I mean, we need to establish. Oh, Misty's in the US, isn't she? Yeah. You've got homeowners association and all that crap over there as well, haven't you? All sorts of weird and wonderfuls. You're probably obliged to work like crazy to maintain your high income to be able to keep those free properties. Mortgage, hello. Yeah, I mean, Misty, if you come into a chat and your first statement is uh, they have to work because they haven't got any money, you're basically implying that they're all paupers and peasants, um, which thus by association implies a poor standard of living, and that couldn't be further from the truth. Um, Depends what you value in life, doesn't it? If you value shiny things, or whether you value quality of life, i.e., good weather, good people, good friends, good food, a good living standard, having your own home and owning it rather than on a mortgage. What do you call a good standard in life? What's good living? Baratiki, Nikolai, recent studies show that most US people cannot face an emergency 2 grand. Yeah, there you go. So, does every Russian live a wonderful, fantastic life? No, of course not. Not suggesting that. But from my own experience, from what I've seen, Russians have a better standard of living here, and that's not based on an amount of money. That's just based on weather, on food, on things that Russians probably don't take for granted or don't take any notice of because it's normal. So weather and quality food. And by quality food, I mean fresh, grown local produce, grown in the fields around us, not genetically modified because that's illegal here. So, and that's the tip of the iceberg, really. So I don't know. It depends what you think is a good standard of living. What's quality of life, really? Irving, we could start a bike club called Expat Cruisers. We could do bike runs to sightsee and travel the country. I think that would be cool. Yes, yes. There's a lot of opportunity here, my friend. There's a lot of opportunity here. Nikolai, 17% of Russians work multiple jobs, 50% have done so before, and 33% have never done so. Okay, I mean, there's lots of metrics. There's a lot of Russians that work in Siberia, earn a shed load of money so that they can retire early and live in the south. There's always, something, but generally, I would say standard of living for the average person is better here than it is in the West, based on, as I've said, good weather, good food, good people, etc. Not on shinies. Having the latest BMW on the drive that you've got on credit doesn't mean you've got a good standard of living. If you think it does, Misty, it is all relative. Absolutely, sweetheart. 100% it is all relative. Um, but yeah, please don't believe Western media and assume that every Russian is a peasant and hasn't got any kind of standard of living and they're all having to work 25 hours a day because they haven't got any money and this, that, and the other. It's not like that here. It's just not like that here. Some plants for sale. It's that time of year when Russians are doing the garden. Right, well, about 2 months ago, that building was derelict. And it had been for quite a long time. Now, as you can see, what's there? 4 or 5 different businesses in there. Yeah, that'll give you an idea. Russia is not what it's portrayed in the West. The economy isn't struggling like they say it is. The doggy's having a nap, look. Bless them. Anyhow, it's been emotional. Please join my Telegram group, the Plastic Russian on Telegram. I'm happy to answer any questions you might have. There's 2 groups. There's a channel and a chat group. If you find the channel and you can't find the chat, don't worry. Just post a comment under one of the posts or videos in there. I'll see it, and we can add you to the chat group if you want. You can ask me anything. If you want me to show a particular part of life, I'll see if I can accommodate you. But check out the channel, YouTube channel. There's lots of videos on there, all very, very different, all very random. Please subscribe and please share my YouTube channel. Really important for me, because it's the only way the channel keeps going. And if it doesn't keep going, if it doesn't gain subscribers and nobody watches it, then you kind of, what's the point? There's no point in me spending hours and hours if nobody's watching it. So yeah, please like, share and subscribe. Going to get in the Tonka toy now. I'm going to go home. I might have to go and pick our daughter up soon. But anyhow, thanks for watching. Smash the like button. I love that. Misty, thanks for educating me. Well, I don't think I've educated you, sweetheart. I probably hit you a bit harshly based on your initial comment, but you have to expect that. But please join my Telegram channel. I'll be happy to answer questions that you might have and probably dispel your perception of Russia. Pretty sure I can. What do you think about the new law in England to report Russian connections? It's a path that England's going down, isn't it? The wrong path. I think everybody with a brain knows that. But is it sustainable? Who knows? At what point will people decide enough is enough? At what point will that government come to an end? Yeah. Nobody's saying that Russia is the paradise, Misty. Every country has its pros and cons. Correct. Constantine, hi. Baratiki, thank you, Plastic. Thanks, guys. Called up with a chat. I've answered everything. I always will answer every question. If I don't read your question out, it's because YouTube has already censored it. And that happens a lot, believe it or not. So if you're frustrated because you've typed something in 3 times and I've not read it, it's because it's not come up on my screen. So bear that in mind. It ain't me. I will answer everything that I see, even the rubbish. But like I say, guys, thanks for joining me. I'm going to get off home before the battery dies and check out the channel. And I'll see you in the next one. Thanks, guys.